coming, just look at him now. Super sensational, special and new. The captain is coming with something for you. Here comes Captain Kangaroo. Take a look, gonna love it. Having fun, so much of it. Captain Kangaroo is who will make this day so great for you. Colorful, magical, wonderful, wow. The captain is coming, just look at him now. Super sensational, special and new. The captain is coming and you're gonna love it. Captain Kangaroo.
I'm Captain Kangaroo, and do I have some stories for you? Stories with unforgettable characters. There's a king in one story and a queen in another. I have a story about a lucky ball team in a baseball story. Let's begin with a story about a queen who always had her way until she met her match. A dragon? No. A lion? No. A monster? No. The queen met her match in, well, you'll see. Long, long ago, somewhere north of the Dutch, in a castle surrounded by gardens and such, there lived a queen who was, well, let us just say, she didn't let anything stand in her way. Her name was Quinella, Quinella the Fair. But when she approached, you had better beware. Excuse me were words that she couldn't abide. The words she preferred were,
Stand back, step aside.
and off she would barrel with pitter and patter, as most of her subjects would bow and then scatter. But heaven help those who forgot to adjust, 'cause
Here comes the queen. Make way, watch my dust.
now it happened that each afternoon around 4, Queen Quinella would step through her wide garden door and stroll in her garden midst roses and thistle down a wide garden path that was clean as a whistle. Till one afternoon, when the stories report, the queen in the midst of her walk pulled up short and said in a voice that was full of dismay,
What is this? Something standing right here in my way.
indeed, there was something to raise up her wrath, for growing right there in the wide garden path was a small little dandelion, yellow and green. Perhaps no one had told it about the queen, who, frowning with anger and biting her lip, cried,
Get out of my way, little weedy green slip.
Then the queen's royal gardener came at a clip and took out his clippers and quickly went snip and plucked up the dandelion, saving the day for the queen to walk on with no one in her way. That was the end of the episode brief, and everyone sighed with a sigh of relief, till the next afternoon when, alas and alack, the queen on her walk stopped to holler.
It's back!
Sure enough, growing there on the wide garden floor was that dandelion, yellow and green as before. So the gardener went snip, and the queen posted men to stand guard so that weed wouldn't grow back again. But the very next morning they opened their eyes, and what do you think they saw growing? Surprise!
This won't do.
Said the queen with a dangerous frown.
Why, how would it look if the word got around that something so measly and small and routine were blocking the path of a powerful queen?
So she called for the castle magician and said,
Cast me a spell that will make that thing dead.
The magician thought briefly, then brandished his wand.
Abracadandelion, vanish and be gone.
But perhaps he had chosen the wrong words to say, or maybe his wand wasn't working that day. Whatever the case, in no more than an hour, smack dab in the path was another bright flower. The candles burned late in the castle that night as the queen sat and pondered with all of her might.
If that weed wants a battle, I'll give it a fight. We'll start in the morning by dawn's early light.
And the very next day, on that spot on the ground, they placed a large stone weighing 300 pounds. On top of the stone went a layer of brick and a great wooden beam that was 12 inches thick. On top of the beam went a great wagon wheel, and on top of the wheel went an anvil of steel. And just as if all that weren't heavy enough, on top of it all, they kept piling more stuff, till the pile went so high it could hardly be seen. And on top of it all went, you guessed it, the queen. From high up above, with the wind in her teeth, Queen Quinella called down to the garden beneath.
Now we'll just see who's the boss of this show. Go on, little dandelion. I dare you to grow.
She smiled quite smugly. She thought she had won. But the truth is, her battle was really not done. For no matter how mighty a queen may get, there are things in this world that are mightier yet.
What do you mean by that?
With a roar and a rumble, a quiver and a quake, the ground seemed to tremble, the earth seemed to shake, as up from below, with an effort supreme,
Uh-oh.
up came the dandelion, and down came the queen.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
The silence descended. Her subjects stood by as Quinella stood up with a gleam in her eye, and, picking her way through the dust and debris, marched herself up to that little green weed, and raising her head in a gesture of pride, this queen, for whom others had all stepped aside, humbly curtsied and said, bowing down,
Excuse me. I think I shall just walk around.
and so it occurred on a day long ago that a mighty queen learned what the rest of us know, that a very good thing to be able to say is, excuse me, if something should stand in your way. And as for that dandelion, yellow and green, the one that defied the most powerful queen, well, it's standing there still where the garden path bends. But it's not there alone, folks. In fact, it's got friends.
Excuse me? I beg your pardon? Oh, excuse me.
And with that, our story, like all stories, ends. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Do I love soup? Most people really love soup. I like tomato soup. I really like potato soup. I just love tutti frutti soup. But most of all, I love, love, love stone soup. Stone soup? Oh, absolutely. The recipe coming right up in a cottage much like this one.
Once upon a time, deep in the woods, there lived an old woman who was very stingy. She would hide her food for fear that someone might come by. She never liked to share what she had with anyone. And then one day, a stranger came knocking at her door.
Who could that be?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes?
I was hoping I might find a place for the night.
Well, I'm sorry, this is not an inn.
Well, then perhaps you could give me something to eat.
Something to eat? Well, there is nothing to eat here. I haven't had a thing myself all day.
Oh, you poor woman. Well, then maybe I could share what little I have with you.
Well, you, what could you possibly have to share with me?
I could make a supper fit for a king.
This tempted the old woman, and she invited the stranger to come in.
Thank you. You are very kind. Thank you very much.
Well, now, about this supper fit for a king, remember, I can give you nothing.
Well, all I need is a pot.
Well, there's a pot.
And some water. Surely you can spare some water.
Yes, there's some water there in the pitcher.
Ah, thank you, good lady. And now,
What's that?
a stone.
Well, what can you make with a stone?
Stone soup.
You mean to say that you can make soup from that stone?
Ah, madam, when one is poor, one must learn to be clever.
And this stone soup, you say, will be fit for a king?
Oh, I hope so. Stones make excellent soup. Of course, this time it might be rather thin, because you see, I have been making soup with this same stone all week. Ah, if only I had a little barley to put in, that would make it perfect.
Well, I just might have a little barley to give you, just a little.
Ah,
There you go.
thank you, good lady. Just a grain or two is all I require.
Well, no, we don't want the soup to be too thin, now, do we?
No, we don't, do we? No.
Go ahead.
Here you are, madam.
You sure you don't need more?
Oh, no, that's just fine. Thank you. You know, this soup would be perfect if only we had a few potatoes and a little meat. But of course, that's out of the question. We don't have any of those things.
No, wait a minute. Now, I think I remember that there was a little bit left over, some meat and potatoes from last night.
Oh, yes.
Let me go see. My memory serves me right. Aha! Yes. Just a little bit left over.
Oh, yes, the meat and the potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
There we go.
Oh, yes. Here's
There.
another one. Yes.
Yes. Don't want it to be too thin.
No,
There.
we don't do it.
Ah,
Good.
yes. Thank you, dear lady. Thank you.
Yes.
You soon shall be able to make stone soup as well as I.
Oh, sir, go on with you. Oh.
Oh, dear.
What is it?
Oh, nothing, except that we really couldn't expect to enjoy this stone soup without putting in an onion and perhaps a carrot or two.
Oh, yes, of course, you're quite right. Now, let me see here. We're in luck. We are just in luck. I happen to have some
Good
carrots.
lady, thank
Here, a
you.
few more. We don't want it
No, we want it to be a good
onion.
soup.
How
Thank you,
about
good
one
lady.
more
Oh,
for the
yes,
pot?
thank
Okay,
you. Good
you're
lady,
welcome.
how fortunate.
Okay.
Say, perhaps you could set the table rather quickly now because the soup is almost ready.
Okay, this should be wonderful. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, let me see here. I can't wait to taste the stone soup. Ooh.
Ah, I think we're ready.
Here we go. Ooh,
Here we are.
that smells wonderful.
Oh, that's because you have helped make a magnificent stone soup, my lady.
You know, I've been thinking maybe we should have some bread and some cheese and perhaps a little cider to go
Oh.
with this stone soup.
Madam, you just thrill me. Would that be possible?
Yes,
You
I
you
think
surely
it
must
would.
have served royalty before.
Oh, sir. Here we go. Sit down. Let's see. Bread. Oh, cheese. Oh, fit for a king.
You said cider.
Right here. Right here. Go.
Good.
Oh, you pour.
Now, my lady.
Oh, take a seat, sir.
Thank you.
Please, and we will try this soup.
Well,
Divine. Absolutely divine. And to think it was made from a little stone.
yes.
Oh, sir, you are indeed a clever man.
Madam, I am so pleased that you like stone soup. But would you do me a favor?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Don't share this recipe with anyone.
Never. Your secret is safe with me, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Ahem. Once in the kingdom of Bopity-Bope, there lived an old king named Morty Moot Mope.
My name is Morty Moot Mope.
Morty Moot Mope was the old king's name, and he loved to hear words that sounded the same. But the saddest thing about his rhyming game was that he couldn't find words that rhymed with his name.
Isn't there someone who can find a rhyme for my name?
He searched through the country, and he searched through the town, until he finally found Same Sound Brown.
Oh boy, oh joy. I'll bet my crown that fellow there is Same Sound Brown.
Same Sound Brown was a rhyming man.
I can rhyme words faster than I bet you can.
You see, if you said moose,
I would say goose.
if you said moose juice,
I would say loose goose.
if you said moosey juice moose,
I would say loosey goose loose.
Same Sound Brown was the name of the man who could make rhymes faster than I bet you can. Now, Morty Moot Mope began to feel pretty good, and he sent for Brown just as quick as he could.
Bring me Same Sound Brown immediately.
And before the king could turn around, there in the court was Same Sound Brown. He bent one knee and bowed to the king and said,
Morty Moot Mope, I can rhyme anything.
Well,
said the king,
I'm glad you came. Now, make me a rhyme to rhyme my name.
Let me see now, Morty Moot Mope. I'm sorry, sire, but there's very little hope. I've rhymed some hard ones in my time, but Morty Moot Mope is hard to rhyme.
Well, if you can't find a rhyme, here's what I'll do. I'll put you in a cage in the Royal Zoo.
You'll have to catch me first.
said Same Sound Brown.
And by the time you're off your throne, I'll be halfway out of town. And I'll tell you something else, Morty Moot Mope. You couldn't catch me with a 40-foot rope.
40-foot rope?
cried Morty Moot Mope.
40-foot rope rhymes with Morty Moot Mope.
Of course it does. I knew it all the time. There are very few words that I can't rhyme.
See here, young man, I'll make you a knight.
Oh, no, thank you, sire. That's all right. Since you were going to cage me when you thought I couldn't rhyme, I'm going back and do my rhyming in my own good time. Ha!
The moral of this story is, never threaten to put someone in the Royal Zoo, because the person who winds up in the cage just might be
You.
Oh, this is going to be fun, Mr. Moose. I have always wanted to be in a movie.
Yeah. No, but there's one thing. I don't see an ending in my script.
Me neither.
Nothing.
Oh, well, wait. It's a surprise ending. You'll love it. Yeah, you'll love
Okay,
it. Now,
okay.
you know what? We need one more actor, the star, and here he comes.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Captain.
What's going on?
Oh, well, we're making a movie, Captain. How would you like to be the star?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I could.
Oh,
sure.
you'd be
Come on.
wonderful. You should do it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody's going to be in it. Bunny's going to be the cameraman.
Oh, hi, Bun. What about you?
Oh, well, I'm the director, you know, and the narrator.
Oh, okay.
I tell a story, and everyone acts it out.
Oh, well,
Now,
all right.
come on, Captain. You be the star.
I'll do it.
No, you can do it.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
you will.
Great, you're gonna have
What do I do and what do I say?
This is it. This is
It's
your
all
script.
right.
Oh, I
Okay.
see. Okay.
Everybody ready?
Yep.
All ready.
Okay.
We're all set.
Get your costumes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Have fun.
Places. Okay.
Places. Come on.
It's going to be fun.
Here's your
Oh.
costume.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Moose. It's my costume, huh?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I was just looking through the script, and I think I have a bad copy. I think there's one missing here.
What do you
Page. That last page, the ending.
Oh.
I don't see any ending in
Oh,
the...
oh. It's a surprise ending.
Oh, a surprise ending.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something. A
Yeah.
surprise ending.
You'll love it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Quiet on the set.
Okay.
Roll 'em. Bunny. And action. Once upon a time, there was a man named Lewis who owned a restaurant called the Dewdrop Inn. And every time someone would come to the restaurant, they'd knock at the door. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's Fred.
And Ethel.
And Lewis would always say,
Fred and Ethel do drop in. What would you like to eat?
but just as they were about to tell him, there was another knock at the door. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
It's the evil villain.
It was the evil villain.
Oh, villain. Oh, no.
They were afraid, but not Lewis.
Evil villain, do drop in.
Louis, if you don't pay the rent by tomorrow, I'm gonna tear this restaurant down. Oh.
Now Lewis was afraid. How could he pay the rent?
All I have is 1 penny. How can I pay the rent? Woe is me.
Lewis was very sad. Even sadder than that.
Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo.
But then there was a knock at the
Mr.
door.
Moose, this
Yeah.
is the part I was telling you about, the missing page.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the surprise ending.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming
Well,
up.
how am I supposed to know what I should do?
Oh, well, just do what you did before.
Oh, okay.
It was
fine.
great. Fine. Really good. A lot of energy. And there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Sir.
Sir who?
Surprise ending.
No, wait, I think I get it.
Ah! What a great surprise ending. What a great movie. Did you get that, Bunny?
Did he get it? No, I got it. I got it. All 222 of them.
23.
I should have known. There once was a baseball team that had many nice players. They had outfielders and infielders. They had a pitcher and a catcher and a bencher. A bencher? Well, a bencher is one who sits on the bench, never to take the field. Until one day... In the little town of Mudville, where everyone played ball, a team known as the Tigers was the best team of them all. But on this team of Tigers, there was a pussycat who never got to play because he wasn't good at bat. Jason was his name, and he'd just sit and watch the team, and he'd cheer when they were winning and dream his special dream. He dreamed the score was tied, and they would send him up to bat. He'd step up to the batter's box and don his batting hat. And with a mighty swing, he'd hit a home run to win the game. He'd circle all the bases, and the crowd would call his name. But soon, the dream was over, and things were just the same. Jason only sat and watched while others played the game. He gathered up his courage, and he told the coach one day about his special dream and that he'd really like to play. The coach told Jason, just before he left for home that night, that dreaming things won't make them real, but working for them might. So he worked at it for many days until his hands grew sore. And when the others left for home, he'd practice still some more. His hitting did get better, but not good enough to play. So Jason sat and watched the game until one special day. 'Twas the ninth, the final inning of the biggest game of all. 2 outs, the score was tied, and then a tiger took a fall. "I'm hurt, I cannot hit," he said, as on the bench he sat. Now there was no one else to choose, so they sent Jason up to bat. He stepped into the batter's box to give it his best try. The pitcher pitched, and Jason swung. "Strike one," the umpire cried. He dug into the batter's box. He took a breath, and then the pitcher pitched, and Jason swung. "Strike two!" He missed again. The game was on the line now, and this was his final chance. Jason thought about his dream as he took his batting stance. The crowd grew very quiet, and the pitcher had no doubt he planned to throw his fastest pitch and strike poor Jason out. The pitcher took his windup, and he threw his fastest ball, and Jason summoned all his strength into the biggest swing of all. And then the crowd was cheering and calling Jason's name, because Jason's hit a great home run, and Jason won the game. As he circled all the bases and he listened to the cheers, he started thinking about his dream, the one he'd had for years. He thought about his practicing, and that the coach was right, that dreaming things won't make them real, but working for them might. I hope you enjoyed some of the favorite stories and favorite friends of Captain Kangaroo. And if you did, you'll be happy to know that we have animals and adventures, circus fun, and holiday stories coming up in further editions of the Captain Kangaroo Video Showcase. So do be sure to look for us soon again.